But now I'll hand it off to Kicky, who actually spontaneously agreed to do a talk yesterday, which was really nice because another speaker canceled. And she'll be talking about AI in radiology. All right, Kicky, so feel free to go ahead.
Yeah, thanks for the invitation yesterday. It was a bit of a, will I do this? Okay, so don't expect too many slides, but I hope to give you a bit more insights in what the regulatory landscape of AI looks like in radiology. And so I just learned a little hack that I can share my screen and my video. So let's see if this works. There we go. I'm doing a PhD in AI radiology in the Radboud University Medical Center in the Netherlands. So that's why I also am involved in what the market looks like a lot, because I'm studying the commercially products that are available for it. And why I think it's relevant, not only for radiology, but the AI space in general and software as a medical device is, as you can see in this paper, this was recently published, shows in what fields artificial intelligence software is currently available. And so this is the one for FDA, but the CE one data looks pretty similar. But what you see is that if you look at the subspecialties in the medical field, that's pretty much half of it is in radiology. So I think really this is a sector that is on the forefront of having commercially available products and putting them into clinical practice. So maybe the data is also representative for a bigger part than just radiology. So what we did actually is gather information from all these products that are available for Europe. So these are CE marked AI software for radiology. And we put them on a website, so aiforradiology.com. You only see one here, but there's a whole list down here with in total more than 170 products by now. So this is quite a lot, with also overlap with products doing similar stuff. And the fun thing is that when you gather all this kind of data, that you can do some statistics. So for example, we found out that it takes on average 4 years for a startup to get their first product to the market. So this is from founding the company to having their first CE mark. And well, I wonder if you think that's quick or slow, but I think you should also consider, of course, there's usually also research before going on this. So sometimes there's already a PhD student, for example, involved in academics, and then the company gets founded and the products go on to market. We do notice that then the second and the third product from the same company move a lot quicker. This is, of course, mostly data from still the medical device directory and not the MDR yet. So it will be interesting to see if that changes things. Then if we look at what the certification looks like, here is an overview of the classes for CE and for FDA. So all the products on the website are CE marked, and we see about half of them also have FDA approval or clearance for FDA. So we're also available in the US. And then if we look at the classes, there's quite a lot of difference there. So the majority is class 2A, but also still a lot is class 1. And from some we weren't able to verify, and some class 2B. And this is, of course, this unknown, and also why we created this website is because, of course, for Europe, it's a lot harder to get this kind of information than for the FDA, where you have the public database and can just look up what the clearances are, what's the intended purpose of this product, and sometimes even the validation summaries and what the clearance was based on. But for CE, this is still very difficult to do. So that was one of the reasons why we created this website, is to really increase this transparency. And we actually check the CE certification by asking for their declarations of conformity and their certificates, so that we really know that this is actually what they are certified for. And I think what I found that very interesting when we created this list is that at this point, there's a lot of discrepancy between these classes for these products. So this is just an example. There's a lot more examples in there where we see that a similar product from different vendors has certification under different classes. So this is an example of algorithms that do detection of intracranial hemorrhage. And in the database, there's products that are class 1, class 2A, and class 2B, which I found very interesting. And I'm also really to maybe hear more from the field itself as well. Like, what do you think? Because I think it creates also a level playing field, as the investment to get these certifications is very different. And I think on the clinical side, on the customer side, there's not that much awareness yet of what this means. And yeah, that they take this into account when choosing products. So what does it look like? Currently, I'm just gonna head over to the website itself, because there we can filter and check it out. So here's all this whole list of products. And you might wonder how many are MDR by now. At least that was one of the questions we had. And I think it's also difficult to get that overview. You really have to go past all the press releases if you want to be aware of that. So we note that down as well. So there's about 18 products currently out of these 174 from a little bit less vendors that have their products marked under the MDR. And then if we take a look at class 1 devices, because I think that will be quite important as well in the coming years, that will be the products that really have to step up their game to stay on the market, because they probably still need notified bodies and get to the criteria of 2A or maybe even 2B. And there we see that still almost a third of the market. So it's going to be interesting to see if these products will still be there in a few years and whether they will manage to get their certification upgraded. And turning back to the slide. So yeah, of course, it's just a public database. So you can go to ai4radiology.com if you want to see more and try more filters out to see what is out there. And just last, to close off with a little overview of how the market has been evolving. And as you see, it has been growing rapidly in the past years. But if we look in a bit more detail, we do see the growth is stagnating, so it's becoming a bit less. It's not doubling anymore, but it's growing a little bit less, and especially the new vendors that are providing these products. So there are still more new products coming on, but not that many new companies entering the market, which I think is also due to the fact that companies are now putting on their second or third product to the market, so they're expanding their portfolio. So of course, then it's not a new company coming into the market. But I'm also really curious, so this goes to 2020, what 2021 will look like, because yeah, I'm really keen to see how the MDR also influences this growth and whether it slows down these new products coming to market or new players coming to the field. But we'll have to wait a bit to have all that data there. So maybe one for next year. These are just all the links. If you want more information on this, if you want to stay up to date on the AI radiology market, we have a newsletter each month where we post all the new information, new clearances, new products, new features. And if you have any further questions, there's my email on how to reach me. Thanks.
Well, thanks a lot, Kicky. Just right on time. And again, thanks for spontaneously agreeing to do this talk, which was, I think, also very, very interesting, because there hardly are these sort of overview websites for medical devices in general. And in this case, this field of AI and radiology, which I think is very interesting.